The Penrith side, they go out, their away record is 2-3 in 1992. Both sides on 14 points as we check the team now. And Andrew Leeds is the fullback. Glenn Nisson and Graham Mackay the wings, Bentley and Carter the centres. We expect Steve Carter to play in the centres. Brad Izzard at 5/8 and Tulson Tollett comes into first grade at halfback. It's Van der Voort at the back of the scrum. Cartwright and Walker the second rows. Kennedy and McNamara at the front. And Brett Boyd is the hooker. And they're coached, of course, by Phil Gould.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you to be upstanding and will observe a minute's silence in memory of Ben Alexander.
Minute silence being observed now. Minute silence being observed now in the memory of young Ben Alexander. Torturous week for all involved at Penrith. Faces tell the story. Gone but never to be forgotten, I'm sure, is the right way to put it for Ben Alexander.
Greg Alexander and his parents Leonie and Gerard and their family would like to express their gratitude to the many friends of Western Suburbs, to all the players, officials and supporters for the comfort, support and kind messages sent to them during the past week.
Referee for the match today is Eddie Ward. He's our whistleblower. Time on. Andrew Leeds puts it down towards the 10-metre line for the black and whites of Western Suburbs to come back on a very heavy pitch, and players are going to be very hard to recognise as we grind our way into this game. Langmack tackled.
And as you say, Ray, a very tough week for all the rugby league fraternity, and the preparation for this game not good for either team, but now they have to tune on. A very important game for both teams, and for the full 80 minutes they are going to have to go to work.
Thomas away for Dimmick, and then a cut-out ball out to Farah, and Brad Izzard, wearing the jumper number 40, is there. He makes the tackle on Andrew Farah. Dimmick now kicking from dummy half. President's Cup today went to Western Suburbs, so too did the reserve grade game. Both these sides on 14 points on the fourth rung of the league ladder. Penrith now. Rain in Sydney has turned this ground with the earlier matches into a quagmire. This is Kennedy. 10 metres on his own side of the halfway. McNamara wears 41. Away goes Colin Van der Voort in the number 13 jumper today. 5 or 6 metres into West Territory on tackle number 5. And Steve Carter kicks the ball down a narrow blindside. It doesn't find touch, as you can see. And Sean Devine carries the leather back to his own 22-metre line.
And of course, Ray, in these conditions, the kicking game is going to be very important for both teams. Fortunately, they are quite well situated to that extent. Western Suburbs, a few kickers there. Andrew Farah, Darren Willis can kick the football. Terry Hill, we've seen Jim Dimmick already kick. And of course, Penrith, Andrew Leeds, Tollett and Steve Carter.
Langmack did well. Thomas is there to back up, but they lost ground in the exchange. Thomas playing at about 15 out from his own line. This is Terry Hill.
Just on the kicking game, Ray, interesting to note that Western Suburbs took Jason Taylor off at half-time in the reserve grade game. Probably the best kicker in the club, and wouldn't be surprised to see him come into the game at some stage as Graham Mackay takes the ball 40 metres out on the full. Western Suburbs now under some pressure. Not a good kick there.
McNamara just inside the 32-metre line. Good field position for Penrith. And that's what this game's going to be all about. Team that occupies the better field position is probably going to win what I think is going to be a real arm wrestle. It has been pretty much the order of the day. Cartwright pulled down there by Langmack in combination with Dimmick, playing at lock these days. Tollett with a short ball away for Walker. And that's the 5th tackle. They're 15 metres out from the line. Tollett grubbing the ball into the in goal. A good day for kicking and well fielded, but he couldn't get it back into the field of play, the Western Suburbs lad. Number 5, that's David Anderson.
Very good chase there from the Penrith team, and Carl McNamara came up with the important tackle at the end. There he comes in now. Looked like the player was going to get back into the field of play. Didn't allow so.
These two sides last year, they played at Penrith Park. It was the only time they met. Western Suburbs won that encounter. It's the day that Graham Wynn was on the end of a bone-crunching tackle, a shoulder charge, in fact. Played by Glenn Nissen. Walker, very valuable player to Penrith. Every time we've seen him play, his contribution has been high. Cartwright allowed to run. And Western Suburbs, through that mistake earlier on, building their own pressures. McNamara, 12 metres away from the line. Tollett floats it out wide for Glenn Nissen. He kicks over the head of Mark Bell. Devine has made a mess of it in goal. Instead of a 22 place kick, it becomes a line dropout. So Western Suburbs really causing their own pressures here. Ball skimming across the top of the mud. Andrew Leeds goes back. 32 metres away from the west line now. Tackle number 1. Kennedy. Van der Voort and Cartwright setting for a run. Tollett comes in. Izzard's with the ball. Tollett. Van der Voort now. Darren Britt, the chief tackler. Tollett again. Had a fine game against Eastern Suburbs last Sunday. Called into the side late, with Greg Alexander making that expected withdrawal. The bomb and a test. Leeds above the pack. Oh, fine try.
A great try there. Andrew Leeds put the kick up and chased himself, reminiscent of a great try we've seen in the past from Steve Rogers in his Cronulla days, but Leeds has done it all himself. Last tackle, just inside the 22, perfectly placed kick right down on the try line, and Andrew Leeds never took his eye off the football. Too high for Devine. Great start for Penrith. They have had all the pressure. Here we see it from front on. Andrew Leeds, one of the good kickers in the game of the football. Look at that, never took his eye off the football. And Devine came in, but Leeds had the momentum, scores next to the post, and he's very happy.
Tremendous effort by Andrew Leeds, and Penrith lead 4-0. $52 points for the year for Andrew Leeds. And he converts his own try. So the Panthers, they turn that pressure into points and lead by 6 points to 0.
The tries are converted by number 1 Andrew Leeds. Penrith 6 leads with 0.
Well, you've said it before, Peter, and they were words that made a lot of sense. In the modern game of rugby league, it's very hard to hold a team out when you give them 3 sets of 6 and shooting at your try line.
Well, that's exactly right, Ray. With the attacking capabilities of all the Winfield Cup teams, you just cannot allow to have them constantly cracking at your defence in that danger area. And there, Penrith, well, they've got a lot of players out there who can bust the line. They resorted to the air, which we will see a lot of today. The kicking game is so important. And Andrew Leeds, well, a fine job. He's having a marvellous season with the Penrith club.
This is Barry Walker. Cartwright. Let me tell you that the conditions will see that 6 points be very hard to wear back. Devine now, will he get there in time? Will he want to get there in time? It goes over the line. 20 metres away from the Magpies try line. 6-0 the Panthers. Well, I think the referee told him to put it in the centre. If he did, that's a unique comment.
I'm very much looking forward to the battle of the 5/8s out there, Ray. Andrew Farah. There's a penalty awarded for inside the 5 against the Penrith team. Farah's made a good fist of being moved back to 5/8 from the centre position. And Brad Izzard coming into the team. I think these conditions might suit his game, and he will be a handful in defence for the Western Suburbs side.
Tap to be taken by Joe Thomas. Darren Britt barges this attack now for West's ahead. Dimmock, long ball out for Farah. Now for Bell. Gee, they push that ball beautifully along the line. Willis gets a short pass away for Dimmock. He makes the mistake, and Tollett comes up with it for Penrith.
And that is the first drop ball we've seen in the game, Ray, so the handling has been quite good. A lot of one-out stuff, which isn't surprising. The Western Suburbs maybe have a few players up front there, a little bit suspect in the handling department, and they are going to have to really make sure that their ball control is of the highest order.
Colin van der Voort, Cartwright. Right on the halfway line. McNamara. 35 tackles, 37 tackles already for the Maggies. Only 15 required by Penrith. And they find the line again, 10 metres away from the west line.
Well, this is a very good kicking game from the Penrith team. There's Tollett taking over the responsibility. That time found touch 10 metres out. Again, good field position.
Darren Willis wearing the number 7 shirt these days at Western Suburbs. Jason Taylor is on the bench for this match today. He played the first half of reserve grade. It wouldn't surprise with his kicking game to see Jason Taylor thrust into this game fairly early on. Played by Terry Hill. Darren Britt got away from the Cartwright tackle, but held by 2 other colleagues. Farah. And that's a good kick by Farah, finding the line 11 metres away from the Penrith line. 6-0 the Panthers. The first time that Western Suburbs have been inside the Penrith 22. Graham Mackay. Carter. Van der Voort. Walker. Graham Wynn and Darren Britt making the tackle.
And that's a very good set of tackles so far for Penrith. They've gone 30 or 40 metres in 4 tackles. There's the 5th signal. And now look once again, it looks like it'll go back to Tollett or to Leeds. Well, in fact, Boyd from dummy half has kicked, and that's quite a good kick. Down into the corner once again, won't find touch, spins back in. But a good chasing team down there will pick up Mark Bell. Well, they've got inside the 10. And that's a mistake that won't please Bill Gould. They have nullified what was quite a reasonable kick from dummy half.
No question about it, the players that infringed the 10 metres were in front of the kicker. We come back direct now. Farah. Kyle White. Hit and spin there. Devine comes up. About 25 metres out from the Penrith line. Darren Britt leading the way for the Magpies forwards. Langmack works the blind, puts Devine up the centre. Joe Thomas, Langmack, wide ball, Dimmock. Farah's waiting for it. Ball goes down for Langmack. Langmack goes himself inside the 22. Good ball by Langmack. Away now. It's gone out wide. Anderson got a pass in field, but the referee...
It's ruled it forward, Ray. It did look as though it floated forward a little bit after. Good work inside from Paul Langmack. They look very dangerous here. Here's Langmack busting a tackle, a selective pass, and that's the one that was ruled forward to the Western Suburbs winger. The ball finally came to ground, but the referee pulled it up.
Brad Izzard. Definitely playing in the 5/8 role. We thought that maybe it was just a foil, but he is playing at 5/8. Graham Mackay doing well. Now he's lost it, undone all the good work. Graham Wynn does well. Thomas, they need to push it quickly. Langmack across for Dimmock. Dimmock put down out there by Brad Izzard.
Well, I have to be critical of Graham Mackay, not just for dropping the ball, Ray, but for being very slow up off the ground after he made the mistake. Western Suburbs did throw the football his way, and he had to get back into position as soon as possible. He took his time.
Well, I'm surprised that the Magpies are giving the ball so much air. Now they've opened them up. Langmack tackled to about 11 metres out. Mark Bell, Joe Thomas, Darren Britt, 10 metres away from the line. Well, trailing 6-0, penalty right in front.
He's played the advantage there, and good work there from the referee, Eddie Ward. Penrith did infringe inside the 5. He gave Western Suburbs the opportunity to score the try. Andrew Farah signals that they will take the kick, but there are a lot of Penrith players certainly offside in that movement, and the penalty in front. We'll see Sean Devine now take the kick, bring the score back to 6 points to 2.
Sean Devine, one of the simpler kicks that you get in rugby league, but in conditions like this, nothing is certain. But he gets the 2 points. So Penrith lead the Magpies by 6 points to 2 at Campbelltown.
The penalty goal for West Penrith, number 1, Sean Devine. Sean sponsored by Senegal Homes. That makes 2 points for West. Penrith 6 leading West 2. We'd also like the driver motor vehicle with the registration number PPB178 to return to a vehicle immediately, please. PPB178 to return to your vehicle immediately, please.
Devine asking Graham Wynn to take it back. Anderson. Terry Hill. Tackled by Colin van der Voort low. That's Carl McNamara over the top. Liddon playing in the centres now. He's made some changes, Warren Ryan, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but all the players have fitted into their roles particularly well. Andrew Farah, not a good kick there, finds Andrew Leeds on the full. But a lot of class in the Western Suburbs team, the likes of Jim Dimmock able to play in 2 and 3 positions. Bell has done so. And they're handling it quite well. Well, there's a lost ball from Penrith there, coming up with the mistakes.
Well, this Penrith player's not well. It is Colin Bentley. Well, he was unconscious before he actually hit the ground, Cole Bentley.
So Brad Fittler is the man who's moved to the sideline, and there's Bentley hit quite high there by Kyle White. The ball did pop out. It's not a well-manned Colin Bentley. And there's Brad Fittler, pulled out of the test side.
It's an awesome sight, isn't it? If Cole Bentley comes off, he's replaced by international Brad Fittler. Here it is again, another angle.
Well, it was the swinging left arm there from Kyle White that's made contact up around the head area. Bentley's been sickened by that. Touch of concussion there, no doubt. He is leaving the field now, very shaky on his legs. And Brad Fittler will come into the side now as the replacement player. I'm sure he will have an impact in these conditions as well.
Magpies winning the scrum. Terry Hill. Anderson. Right on the halfway line. Langmack. Penalty goes to the Magpies. Penrith 3/4 offside.
Well, they were a touch in front, but again, it's a big 5 metres and a long time before they were actually going to get to the defence. I think for a flowing game, we can nearly let those go.
Barra finding the line, 25 metres out from the Penrith try line. Darren Britt takes it up very, very strongly, and he has done so far in this match more than probably any two put together. Graham Wynn, Mark Bell, he'll score! Bell, he gets the try for the Magpies!
Well, a very smartly constructed move there from Western Suburbs. They do attack the blind side a lot. Generally, it's Paul Langmack in bold, but Mark Bell has finished that one off, and Brad Fittler was the man who got caught. We see here, coming down the blind side, the second man ball to Graham Wynn. Brad Fittler came in, he fell for the second man play. That allowed Mark Bell to be unmarked on the outside. So some poor reading in defence here by the Penrith team. There's Fittler, he's already gone in. Graham Wynn, a simple pass out to Mark Bell, and very happy about it. 6 points all with the kick to come.
Nine tries for Mark Bell, that is, for the season. Canberra to Western Suburbs in 92. Now Sean Devine. From the T-bar. Hooks it too much. So at Campbelltown Stadium, we're all locked up at 6 points all, the Magpies and the Panthers. The Western Suburbs fighting back after they built enormous pressure on themselves in the opening exchanges. And Penrith came up with that Andrew Leeds try. Now they're back to 6 points all. Langmack playing very well. White.
And as we've mentioned before when watching the Western Suburbs team this year, Ray, they do have a lot of options in their team. Langmack is a first receiver, Dimmick, the halfback Willis now has taken over that role quite well, as is Andrew Farrer. So they can go different directions in attack, as that's a very good kick from Western Suburbs right down to the Penrith try line. And Glenn Nissen, the man required to take the ball out 10 metres from his own line.
Graham Wynn playing a spirited match today, made that tackle. Tulson Tollett. Kennedy. One-on-one tackle for Darren Britt. McNamara. A spare a thought for Brad Fittler. He's into this game now. He was one of Ben Alexander's very close as friends. They played a lot of football together, went to school together, and of course he pulled out of the Australian side because it was just impossible for him. Now he's into this game this afternoon.
And that's a big mistake late in the tackle count there from Andrew Farah. Just trying to hold the play down too long. John Cartwright.
Oh, Leeds, that's a magic kick. He went for everything.
And you thought he'd mistouch for a minute.
I did for a second. Collett, Mackay. So Penrith now. They come back to the Western Suburbs quarter zone. McNamara, penalty against West. This should break the deadlock.
Well, they are a mile offside there. That's one that couldn't be let go. Paul Langmack was the main offender.
Bill Gould. So this attempted penalty for Andrew Leeds. About 18 metres out and just a fraction off centre. Keeps it low, but beautifully online. Penrith regain the lead, 8 points to 6.
For Penrith, the goal kick by number 1, Andrew Leeds. Penrith 8, Leeds West 6.
Ball coming down to Leeds. Brad Fittler.
Excellent run there, Colin van der Voort, close to the ruck. Took the ball at speed, and here's Boyd taking advantage of a quick play of the ball. That's good work from Penrith once again. That's where they're going to have to make the hard yards, in the middle of the ruck there.
This is Walker. Leeds. Devine. Right on the 40-metre line. Anderson. 8 points to 6 in favour of the Panthers. Darren Britt.
Well, Barry Walker was standing next to the referee, 1.5 metres offside. Now you're going to have to watch that as again Western Suburbs go wide. Inside from Graham Winter. Barra picks up Langmack. Very involved this afternoon, Paul Langmack. But they can't afford silly penalties in this for infringing the 5 metres.
Dimmick now. 5 tackles gone. Thomas changes the point of the attack. Farah, he puts up the bomb. Leeds getting underneath it, and he takes it over the sideline.
Well, an excellent kick there from Andrew Farah. Gave Andrew Leeds no choice but to catch the football, and he was always going to go. He can't let that bounce. So a perfect kick from Farah.
So a great opportunity for West now. Willis away to Farah. Farah takes them on. Leeds and Izzard make the tackle. Dimmick away and through Devine. It's with Wynn.
Langmack's seen numbers on the far side. He'll call the football, but it comes back through Jim Dimmick. A wide ball to Andrew Farah.
Devine coming up looking for the short ball. Farah to play it. 20 metres out from the line. Dimmick. Dimmick bounces off the tackle. 11 metres out from the line now. Thomas cuts out Brett. Finds Langmack. Cut out pass. Hill. Now Anderson. Anderson gets it back for Langmack. Now they've got the numbers. Terry Hill. Good defence by the Panthers. West now might get the penalty. They don't. Anderson puts it in the air. Good bomb. And Penrith clean it up. Well, that was a mighty take by the Penrith player, Brad Fittler.
What a catch. That's an Australian rules catch of the highest order. Very good kick from Anderson. And look at Fittler take this one out of the air above his head under enormous pressure. That's a great catch.
Well done, Brad Fittler. Van der Voort. This is McNamara. Kennedy. Wynn and Thomas making the tackle. Cartwright folding. Open side to Blind. Fittler now. Devine turned around. (8-6) in favour of Penrith. Willis.
Ray, what Western Suburbs force you to do in defence is to play a slide defence. They run so many second-man plays and cut-out plays that what they're looking for from the opposition defence is someone to commit themselves too early, get up out of the line. We saw Brad Fittler do that on the try. You just have to make sure. Well, here's going to be a penalty to Western Suburbs. Referee claiming that Walker grabbed the foot of the tackle player. But you can't commit yourself too early in defence. And again, that's an important penalty because it came late in the tackle count.
Farah's kick finding the line. 25 metres away. Willis. Farah. Western Suburbs stacking a play up. A blindside play probably on the next play. Darren Brett. Kyle White. Now it's with Terry Hill. Hill steps free from the tackle. 8 metres out from the line. Joe Thomas. Farah. Dimmick. Langmack. Read well by Brad Fittler. Got the pass away though. Dimmick's with it. Willis. Britt. 10 metres away from the line. Willis. Runs to Langmack. Langmack holds it back for Farah. Turnover now to Penrith, so they scrambled very well in defence, Penrith.
Panthers weather another storm, but some good work from Western Suburbs in attack, keeping the ball alive, very well drilled, well organised. Penrith coped there under a lot of pressure once again. They have worked the ball out from their own line quite a bit in this first half.
I notice that Paul Clark is getting ready to come on for the Panthers. He'll be on shortly in jumper number 8. Cartwright. There goes Clark onto the field, replacing Kennedy. Leeds. Devine. Back to the halfway line. Terry Hill.
Penrith.
Well, it's been difficult for Penrith to get a long kicking game going. They are running into what's a reasonably stiff breeze. We'll have the luxury of that in the second half, of course. But a lot of the kicks being fielded on or around the halfway area. Western Suburbs really played a lot of good field position in this first half.
Darren Britt. Langmack works the blind side. Graham Wynn links up. They go inside the 22 line. Thomas. Dimmock. Glenn Nissen will clean it up. Andrew Leeds, he's made the mistake. They should score here. No, Mark Bell is 2 metres short. Still a chance on the blind side. Terry Hill, a metre from the line. Farah gets it away for Kyle White and they crunch into the ground.
Great tackle, Andrew Leeds. He may have come up with the mistake earlier, and I do blame Glenn Nissen for part of that. He didn't make a decision to get on the ball, but Leeds has come up with a great tackle there on Kyle White, only a metre out.
Tollett. The referee.
He's calling Tulson Tollett out for some reason. Well, there's the blood bin.
It's a blood bin for Tulson Tollett. Blood coming from behind that left ear.
An unusual replacement, it appears. That's Paul Smith, the winger. So again, a reshuffle in the Penrith side. They have had a few problems injury-wise and blood bin-wise during this first 40.
Clark. Walker. Barry Walker.
Well, you'd expect with Tollett off that Steve Carter would be the man to go to halfback.
Now Graham Mackay. Another 10 metres of ground for the Penrith side. They've come 25 on 2. Brad Izzard. This is the last tackle. Andrew Leeds. And a well-placed kick too. 15 metres out from the line. Devine, he starts to bring it back down the ground. Bell, Willis, Anderson. Paul Langmack. Able to get the ball out the back for young Willis, Darren Willis, formerly with the Penrith club. Thomas, around the back for Farah. Long ball out to Bell. Nissen chases. Bell beats in. Inside for Graham Wynn. And Wynn is tackled. 22 metres out from the line. Terry Hill. Joe Thomas. Dimmock. Langmack. Dimmock runs around and makes the extra man. Langmack held 15 metres out. Carl White. Willis. Cut-out ball. Well taken by Farah. Farah's pass may have been touched. It was. Terry Hill, he didn't see the referee. The referee indicated 6 more. And Leeds comes up with the ball for Penrith.
Well, Terry Hill obviously didn't know it was the last tackle had been signalled 6 again. And he put the kick up there, took all the pressure off. But again, great defence there from Penrith. They were under pressure. Big bust down the left-hand side from Western Suburbs. Gave them numbers out wide, but they scrambled well in defence. They're under a lot of pressure in this half.
McNamara. Clark. Leeds. Mark Bell. Wrapped up by Graham Mackay.
Yes, Graham Mackay has moved into the centres, Ray. Steve Carter has gone to half-back and Paul Smith on the far wing.
White. Good work by Kyle White. Terry Hill. Dimmock. Correction, Thomas. Langmack. Having a fine game, Paul Langmack. This is Dimmock now. Dimmock's 10 metres away. Oh, he was desperately looking for support. Darren Britt. Joe Thomas. One-handed pass to Farah. Off the ground, it's picked up by Liddon. Liddon gets a pass away. Willis off the shoulder of Kyle White. And Penrith ball.
Well, Barry Walker very fortunate there. Put the shoulder charge on the Western Suburbs player. It propelled him another 10 metres, and again Penrith working it out. Another set of 6 signalled there as Steve Carter plays the football, but they're out on their feet, Penrith. They can't wait for half-time.
Leeds. 8-6 in favour of Penrith. It's against the Western Suburbs markers. The front marker, in fact.
The Panthers won't be in any hurry to take this penalty. There's the infringement there. Look at that. It is a quagmire out there.
Carter. Clark. Vandervoort. Good yards by Colin Vandervoort. Cartwright. Decoy runner going on his inside. Cartwright held by Langmack. Fittler. Now, Paul Smith goes down towards the Western Suburbs 22 line. Fittler makes the yards himself, throws the pass willy-nilly. It's come off for him. Izzard puts it in the air. A test here for Devine. He's lost it. Mark Bell cleans it up. A line drop out, and Penrith will come back with 6 more.
There's some good skill there from the Penrith team. Brad Fittler keeping the ball alive after a short run down the blind side. There's Devine missing the football, but Bell was there to clean up.
Glenn Nissen, 40 metres out. Dimmock made the tackle. Willis over the top. Brad Izzard. McNamara. Hit and spin back for Boyd. Cartwright. Yes, Fittler. Fittler running the big angle. Well read by Western Suburbs. Clark.
Well, I'll go to the air here, Ray, on the last tackle. Only a minute left on the clock. Brett Boyd, he's put the kick up. Not a bad one either. Devine, great take. That'll be the final set of 6 almost. We might get 1 or 2 more tackles in, but Sean Devine has kept his line intact. And that's a big take because Andrew Leeds was putting some pressure on as the half-time siren sounds.
And at half-time, Penrith lead Western Suburbs 8 points to 6. We'll be back with all of the second half action in just a moment.
Still have time on the way home this afternoon to purchase some more Western merchandise. You buy more than $20 worth of that, that's to give them something great to buy. Coming up again soon.
Welcome back to the Campbelltown Stadium to what's been a marvellous first half of football in very trying conditions and a scoreline that sees Penrith leading Western Suburbs 8 points to 6. Very little difference, especially possession-wise, for the two teams. Testimony to the ability, the handling errors only adding up to 11 between the sides. But the big statistic to come out is the kicks in play. 15 for Penrith against 6 for Western Suburbs. That shows that Penrith have done it tough getting out from their own line.
And a new face on the field, as we predicted. Jason Taylor has taken the place of David Anderson, and Darren Willis, the halfback in the first half, will go back to his former position of wing.
And very easy to see from that move, Ray, that Warren Ryan knows the kicking game is paramount, and especially the goal kicking as well. He is the best kicker in the club, Taylor, and he will be called upon on plenty of occasions to drive the ball down and maybe kick for an important 2 points.
Fresh set of jumpers for Western Suburbs at half-time. Not so for the Panthers, they weren't quite so lucky. Devine. By 3 the penalties to the Magpies first half, 4-3 the scrums to them as well. Let's have a look at what's happened in the tackling department. Graham Wynn with 19 for the Magpies. Van der Voort with 14 for Penrith. Out in the backs division, a great deal there. Willis 5 and Izzard and Carter 4 apiece.
Ray, just going back to that jersey situation, I know that it makes it very difficult for us not to have fresh jerseys out there, but a lot of players actually don't like changing jerseys at half-time. It's a psychological thing. Maybe they sort of drift out of the game a little bit going out there feeling sort of that fresh. As Andrew Farrer, a bit unlucky there not to find touch. I don't know if Penrith had the option to take the new jerseys, but I do know a lot of players prefer not to themselves.
Andrew Farrer just a little bit heavy with that kick. Tulson Tollett is back from the blood bin. In the opening exchanges now of the second half. Vital game, and the penalty goes to Penrith. All over the top of the man playing the ball.
Well, let's have a look at this as to how quickly the man tried to get up. Well, yeah, he did milk it again, but Joe Thomas was the man responsible for pulling the jersey down.
So Andrew Leeds, one of the first half stars. He finds the line near the halfway mark. Both clubs on 14 points. And of course, with that congestion up the top of the table, somebody's going to have to miss out. Of course, these two clubs are in that danger zone of being involved in playoffs coming up to the semi-finals. Cartwright. 32 metres out from the line then. That's McNamara. Boyd. Van der Voort. Penrith with the black numbers on a white background, very hard to read in conditions like these. Off the legs of a Magpie, back for Andrew Leeds, that's play on.
I thought it might have been a knock on there from Andrew Leeds. Fortunately, his body fell in between the ball and Eddie Ward as Tulson Tollett from dummy half puts the kick up. No real pressure on Devine. He fields it well and is met in defence by Paul Clark.
Although no real pressure there on Devine, I got the impression watching the first half that Phil Gould, watching his videos, may be of the opinion that Devine is suspect under the high ball. Darren Britt. Thomas. Kyle White. It was a good first half of football in conditions such as these.
Ray, I thought it was an excellent first half of football between two teams who did throw the football around and still made very few mistakes, really, when you consider what they're playing in out there. Here's Jason Taylor of his first touches of the football. He finds Andrew Leeds, who stops it with his boot. Safety first there from Leeds, and a good chase there from Western Suburbs. Although Leeds evades a couple of defenders, finally Graham Wynn comes across in cover.
32 metres out from his own line. The Penrith fullback plays it back for Steve Carter, whose game, when he's played in the centres, and you may have noticed this in the first half, he's a footballer that loves to have the football in his hands many, many times. I tend to think it nullifies Steve Carter when he is playing in the centres.
And he's one of the best chasers in the game as well, Ray. He's a man that can get a charge down on kicks, really harries the defence, and I think exactly the same thing. He can't do that as much and as often when he's playing in the centres further away from the football.
This is the last tackle, and Brad Fittler drops it onto the left boot. Devine takes a catch out at mid-off. Comes away from Tollett. Evades the tackle of Izzard. Brought down eventually by Tollett and also Graham Mackay. Willis in from his wing, wearing the number 7 shirt, obviously. White. Out she comes again, picked up by Taylor.
We've got an injured player here. That's Barry Walker. Looks like he might have got his leg caught underneath. He's up on his feet. He'll be okay. Limping back into position, and Jason Taylor will restart play. There's the big hit on Kyle White. The ball popped out the back. There's Walker coming in. Yeah, cry of anguish.
Dimmick to the halfway line. Tuesday nights, we'll telecast that match for you from Seagulls. And Andrew Farah doing something that he doesn't often do. He miscued. And this is the turnover near the halfway line. Yes, Great Britain and the Gold Coast on Tuesday. Van der Voort. Middle of the ground. Midway 22 and halfway west end of the park. Now they're up towards the 22 line. Boyd. Fittler at first receiver a fair bit now. Cartwright for Izzard, then away for Mackay. Hill wrestles with Mackay. He's a big man. Very strong, hard to pull down. Former Magpie, in fact, Graham Mackay. Tollett, Fittler. 5 gone for the Panthers. What will they do? Go to the air. Tollett uses the grubber. Came off a West player. Mark Bell to play it. Just inside his own 10-metre zone. Liddon. Taylor. Dimmick. .86 in favour of the Panthers, and West get a penalty. Again against the marker.
Well, both teams have got to realise that Eddie Ward is not going to stand for any infringements around the marker area, and that's an offence we've seen penalised many times this afternoon, the man pushing the player back to the ground.
Taylor. Barra. Back to the left now for Kyle White. Britt. No Gillespie, no Linda. Although I'm led to believe that Bob Linda is sitting on the reserves bench today. Barra gets it inside, and that's
Taylor taking the ball up and did very well to catch what was a difficult pass from Andrew Farah. Well, there's a breakdown in communication. Kyle White shouldn't be the man getting the football on the last tackle, and Paul Langmack knows. We see the man standing still as well. That made it difficult.
Izzard. Cutter. All over the top of him, Terry Hill. Paul Clark. Hard to imagine this man not in the run-on side for Penrith. But such has been the quality of the work of fellows like Barry Walker. They make it very hard for anybody to come off the Penrith bench these days. Tollett for Fittler. 5 gone. Izzard. Across and off the boot of McNamara, finding the line about 18 metres away from the West line. 8-6 in favour of Penrith then. Yes, it's not a jumper that we've grown accustomed to seeing Jason Taylor in. It is significant since he's been playing reserve grade with Western Suburbs. Taylor put something like 4 wins out of their last 5 together. Barra.
Ray, early in this second half, I do get the impression that Western Suburbs can play a similar game as they did in the first half. They might just be able to get this Penrith team, whose preparation obviously was very difficult. They've shown a lot of character out there and they still lead this ball game. But a lot of work done by Penrith and a couple of their players just looking a little tired.
Dimmick. Now Langmack. Probably their best player. Carl White supports. Oh, gee! Devine was on his right. Then he changed his mind and went to his left. It's still play on. Taylor. Dimmick. That's a knock on. Well, Western Suburbs had a golden opportunity there.
Great break from Paul Langmack. And what about the one-armed left-hand ball back inside? There's the breakdown of communication once again. Terry Hill fortunately there to clean up. As Penrith now turn defence into attack. Colin van der Voort, who's played very strongly for the Panthers. Well tackled on the fringe of the ruck. There's a man rewarded for a strong effort, Graham Wynn.
McNamara. Bobby Linder has gone on in jumper number 41. Paul Clark. It won't be the last we'll see of Graham Wynn, though, I'm sure of that. Cartwright away for Brad Izzard. 22 metres out from the line. 5 gone. Blindside play for Cartwright. And Devine makes the mistake. Mackay scores. Graham Mackay scores off a Sean Devine mistake. Well, that could be the ball game. Early on, I know to say that. But in quagmire's conditions, to give a 6-point start, it'll be like a mountain to climb for the Magpies.
He has looked a little bit shaky this afternoon, Sean Devine, and there's the ball along the ground. Probably should have just tried to dive on the football. Mackay on the spot. That puts them 6 clear. And really, Sean Devine, well, he's made a couple of blues there. We saw one in the first half where it was a simple catch. John Cartwright on the blind side, nothing on, and the ball just pops out, which it can do in the mud. And Graham Mackay scores what may be a very important try. Andrew Leeds, an even more important conversion. 4 tries for Graham Mackay this season.
Memory serves me correctly, it was a John Cartwright kick last week that saw a try result.
Colin van der Voort scored the try, so he's shown a little bit of form with the boot. John Cartwright close to the line.
Andrew Leeds, 56 points for the season now. Can he make it 58? Right out on that T-bar. Coming around gently and nicely, and 2 points. That's a magic kick in a day like today.
And a magic kick because it takes the scoreline to 14 points to 6. 8 clear. Penrith over Western Suburbs.
There it is, from the sideline, with professional draw, I think they say in golf.
Well, I do, Ray, when I play, yes, and have been known to put a few over the post like that with the golf ball.
My goodness, they get carried away. Round of 98 on Friday for the first 9.
And still got you by a couple of shots.
Clark, I wasn't the one boasting them. Walk up. They'll be hard to wheel now, the Panthers. Plenty to play for. Cartwright. I must admit I wasn't aware until I was handed that statistic earlier in the day. West's home record, 5-1 at Reeves.
Well, again, I suppose that emphasises the fact that the home ground advantage is something that really is evident in the Winfield Cup Rugby League football. I don't suppose too many teams like coming out here as Bobby Linder takes the ball forward. He's going to have to do plenty of that kind of work now to get Western Suburbs back into this. You're playing on your own ground, familiar conditions. Sure that the crowd helps and maybe has a little bit of influence in other areas as well. Western Suburbs, well, they've got a marvellous record here, even though it is in jeopardy now.
White playing it near the halfway line. Langmack, I think I said it earlier, but it's worth saying again. Had a very good game today for the Magpies. Dimmick on the 5th. Farah. Probably won't find touch. Leeds. No, he's decided to leave it. The scrum will go down about 11 metres away from the Penrith line. 14-6 to the Panthers. Mackay. A runaway train when he starts winding up. Van der Voort. Izzard. The Penrith Peter, midway through the second half, they don't really have to do anything flash at all.
No, that's right, Ray. They just have to look for good ball control, which they have had up to this point in the game. A strong kicking game obviously is very, very important. And even more important is the chasing term. Every time they put a football down there, they must have a lot of players. Here's Graham Mackay. Gets a kick in. It will just clear Sean Devine's header. He may have got a touch on that one that puts the players on side. Mackay's chased his own kick down and comes up with a very good tackle. 12 metres out.
Darren Willis. Mark Bell. Winger then winger. Joe Thomas working at left for Britt. Solid defence there from Van der Voort and Clark. Langmack gets in behind them, puts Lytton away. 32 metres out from the Penrith line.
Great work once again, Paul Langmack, and a tremendous tackle. Andrew Leeds as Joe Thomas goes over the top of the defence with a kick. There's Bell chasing. But is that Andrew Leeds back there again? Well, that's marvellous play. He's come up with the cover defending tackle and then got back to clear up the kick. Hasn't he had a game?
Here's Langmack getting in behind them. Now, it was Lytton into space. Leeds made that tackle. And then, as Peter said, he scampered back and he cleaned up the kick ahead. Very good play. Keep in mind the other good things that he's done in the game so far. Walker. Mackay. Oh, Devine's having an unhappy day.
Well, it's an amazing thing, confidence. How when things are going well, you do grow in stature in that area. When things have turned against you, you lose it so quickly. Sean Devine, the hands on the hips. And obviously Penrith are going to continue to pepper him now. He must be thinking about the mistakes he's made.
How long since you've seen a scrum penalty given for collapsing the scrum? Or a hooker getting down in the scrum with loose arms and the rest? How long since you've seen that penalty given?
Do you want me to put it down to minutes or... Ray, I've got absolutely no idea, as Brad Izzard fortunate to get away with that mistake. What are you saying, that we should see more of them, or there was one that we just witnessed there that wasn't penalised?
Clark.
Or are you just making conversation?
McNamara. Tollett. Izzard. Terry Hill diving on the loose ball. Mark Bell. Penrith inside the 5. have to be taken right on the halfway mark.
And there's a replacement being made. Unfortunate for Sean Devine, he is the man coming off. And Anthony Zurab in 14 goes out for Western Suburbs. He'll be at fullback. Jason Taylor picks up Andrew Farah with a lot of players out there. Terry Hill straight through.
Yes, he's inside the 32. He's got Willis outside him. Leeds can't get him. And Willis, he gets the try for the Magpies to put them back.
Well, one missed tackle, and that's all it takes. Terry Hill straight through the defence there. They did have numbers, Penrith. Some good ball movement once again, and we've seen plenty of that in what's been an exciting game of football. Taylor out to Andrew Farah. Selective ball there to Terry Hill. Who's the man that misses? Steve Carter, it looks like. Very unusual. Positioned his man well. A man with a lot of pace, Darren Willis. But his sparing dive from Andrew Leeds couldn't come up with the tackle.
Now, normally one would say in dry conditions this fellow's an even money chance of kicking it.
You can get on with me, Ray. I'll give you 6-4.
When did you last win an award for bravery?
It's obviously a very important kick for Western Suburbs. Take them within a penalty goal. Now a try behind. So Jason Taylor, if you wanted anybody to be taking a kick, this is the man.
There wouldn't be too many that would want to bet against him, even from out on the sideline. Oh, it's a horror! Probably the worst kick Jason Taylor's ever made. And you bet 6-4.
Well, he just blew out the gate to about 10-1. But Western Suburbs have hit back. There's still plenty of time on the clock. Penrith now must compose themselves. 14 points to 10. One try in it. Still a lot of football to be played between two very good football teams here.
14-10 in favour of the Panthers. Can the Magpies come back? They're halfway there. Dimmock slammed to the ground there by Brett Boyd. Anthony Zurab. Isn't it amazing? We've seen him in a couple of games where his confidence level went right down the drain. And here he is today, thrown into the game because Sean Devine was having a similar experience.
And of course up against the club that he played for, Ray.
Yes, he is.
In a semi-final, make a couple of blues and the wheels turned. Here's Langmack going to the defence once again. He's popped up some marvellous balls this afternoon. As on the last tackle, Jason Taylor drives the ball down. Very good kick. Andrew Leeds makes good ground, catches it on the full.
Leeds coming away from his own 32-metre line. Farah makes the tackle over the top. Time is not a problem here. The scoreboard is, but the clock is not. Nissen. Van der Voort. Barry Walker almost going right through. He's left to Dimmock to make the tackle with Britt. Fittler. Oh, Schweller! He's made the same mistake.
Well, somebody's just got to dive on these balls. You can't try and pick them up. It's going all over the place. Use your foot or dive on the football. Don't create the penalty or the mistake 8 metres out from your own line.
Well, Warren Ryan will be pulling his hair out. Tollett. That Boyd. Away to McNamara. Carter did well. Nissen ridden to the ground by Terry Hill. Mackay. McNamara.
Just roll one into the in-goal area here. Possession is vital.
Tollett. Now Schwerer again under pressure, but he takes it over the dead ball line this time. 14-10 in favour of Penrith. Taylor's drop out. Oh, gee, it won't even go 22 metres. Walker. The Penrith have come up with the ball on the first tackle, 15 out from the line. Fittler. Van der Voort. It's popped out. Well, what's he doing? Oh, come on. I can't believe that was milk. Maybe the replay will tell another story.
No, and it's our old rule. Once again, here's Colin Van der Voort taking the ball forward. It's just popped out. It's actually come off Andrew Farrer's knee. An accidental one at that, and this may well cost Western Suburbs 2 points. Joe Thomas has every right to be upset over that, as have all the Magpies. It's a dumb rule. Let's get rid of it, and we won't have these kind of problems.
But Eddie Ward was unsighted anyway. Why would he make such a bold decision? And that's an area of the game where I still believe the touch judges can be of an assistance to the referee. Leeds got a clean book so far. Safe as a bank for Andrew Leeds. 16-10 now in favour of Penrith. Well, the crowd is hostile at that ruling from Eddie Ward. So probably the best that West can hope for now, given the scoreboard and the time, is a draw. Smith.
I know it's difficult to score points, but we still have over 10 minutes left on the clock, so there is still plenty of time. We've seen points scored before in that time period. And they've got to strike back quickly, and Penrith now, mistake-free football will be there. Modus operandi.
Cartwright. Good bumping run by the captain. Fifth tackle. Mackay. Penrith keeping the ball alive, trying to get it away to a free agent. Schwerer. Been playing fine in reserve grade, Anthony Schwerer. Bell. Dimmock. West get a penalty, and again for the same infringement, pushing the player back down.
We've seen that many of these infringements. It's almost time for a sin bin. The captains have got to be called out and spoken to about this offence, because it's just happened continuously throughout the game.
Tap to be taken right on the halfway mark, or near enough to it. Farrer. White. Thomas. Liddon. Britt. He's made some impressions, hasn't he? He's taken the ball up so many times in the game. Dimmock away for Taylor now for Langmack. Back inside for Taylor to cross the halfway. In fact, the 40-metre line it was. So they're midway between the 22 and the halfway. Penrith's into the ground. They've got a big line out to the left. Cut-out ball may have been touched by Penrith. Knocked on, was it, by Western Suburbs? Mark Bell it was.
took his eye off the football there, Mark Bell. Western Suburbs looking to keep the ball alive. He was playing tunnel ball.
Paul Smith scored a massive amount of tries for Penrith last year. Fittler, Mackay, strong effort from him today.
Ray, I don't know if you'd be game to even try it in these conditions, but obviously if they could get a field goal and put them 7 points clear, the game is over. They may opt to just keep possession and roll it into the in-goal area once again, but there are quite a few dry patches down around there.
Oh! Joey Thomas. He peeled off a dazzler. Clark.
Maybe not dry patches, but maybe a couple of drier patches.
Fittler. Schwerer. Oh, no! Not again.
Well, I'd say Warren Ryan has just looked to see who the fullback is in the 21s. We're getting through a few of these. It's the same thing. You take your eyes off the ball, you're going to make a mistake.
Blindside for Smith. Bell cleans him up about 5 metres out. Penrith soon see the answer to that question that you asked a couple of minutes ago.
Well, I think Brad Fittler is setting up for it. I think he's telling his players to go towards the posts. They have got a few numbers out this way, so they may continue to come.
Being played by Walker. Boyd goes himself. Metre from the line. Now Fittler is about 10 metres behind the play the ball. Tollett away for Cartwright, and he puts it into the end goal, and Bell cleans it up. I don't think there's any doubt that Fittler was setting up for it, but maybe he was only positioned there as a decoy.
Well, that's just as good, isn't it? They're a good kick again from Cartwright close to the line, and Bell forced to push the ball dead. They get the ball back line, drop out, and probably not too far out from the try line.
This drop out by Jason Taylor is measurably better. Leeds. MMI Insurance, the people that support rugby league on the Nine Network. They give the $1,000 again. The man of the match in this game today at the Campbelltown Stadium. Walk up. 16-10. McNamara. Fittler's at first receiver. Cartwright at second. Mackay at third. Squeezing the pass out. Nissen away for Leeds, and then for Fittler. Fittler looking for the hole. Looking for the gap. 5 gone. Tollett waiting it into the end goal. Anxious moments again for Western Suburbs, but they get it back for 6 Penrith.
This is very smart play, Ray. I like this. Rolling the ball in. Good kick again from Tollett. Bell forced to ground the ball. They'll get the ball back.
I'll tell you what, he's proved a very valuable fill in Tulson Tollett. Last week, again today, he's done his job and done it well. Done it with a lot of maturity too. Fittler. Boyd. Big Mackay is screaming for the ball on the right. Fittler's looking for it. Here he is. Now, the pirouette. Cartwright. This is their last. Will they do it again? Mackay tries for it, but it's a horror.
Well, I'm surprised they went to Graham Mackay with Andrew Leeds standing 5 metres to his right. Thought he would be the more adept at the field goals. There he is. A shocking kick. And maybe rolling the ball into the in-goal area was the way to go.
Liddon. Last minutes of the game. White.
Well, I look for Langmack on the fringe of the rucks once again. He's the man that's created a few opportunities for them. There he is now, the second man play. Andrew Farah got a couple of players outside him, decides to come back inside. They must keep the ball alive now.
Farah plays it 2 metres inside Penrith's area. Away for Taylor now for Langmack. Looks to turn it inside, throws the dummy, makes the break himself. 25 metres out from the line. 5 tackles gone for the Magpies. One of their last throws of the dice. White floating pass for Taylor. Turnover right on the 22 line.
Well, Jason Taylor shakes his head. He should have known it was the last tackle. He had to kick the football. He didn't know it was the 6th tackle, and that's a mistake to make. Every player out there should know when it is the last. Whether you're a front row or a fullback, you've got to get your foot to the ball when it breaks down.
Clark. Just a few minutes remaining in the game. Andrew Leeds must be a frontline contender for the MMI Insurance $1,000 in this game today.
Well, there's been a lot of good performers out there, Ray. Paul Langmack has been outstanding for Western Suburbs, and so has Colin Vandervoort for the Penrith team. He's worked tirelessly out there, does a lot of work that I'm sure goes unnoticed by many fans, but not by his fellow players. But Leeds, to me, has been, I think, the best. Very safe. The ball driven down to Anthony Zurb once again. This may well be the last set of 6, and they've got a long way to go. Oh, high tackle from Mackay. They've got less distance to go now after this penalty.
Oh, gee. I do feel sorry for Graham Mackay on this one. I don't think Eddie Ward feels any differently. He had to do something about the fact that it was a dangerous tackle.
Well, there was no malice in it, but he had to give the penalty.
Exactly, there was no malice in it at all. Taylor away for Farah. 3 minutes to go. Carl White. Can Western Suburbs pull a point out of this game? Taylor for Britt. Now they're fanned out to the left. Langmack's going to run a blind side. Linda through one. Gets it inside the 22 line. 18 metres out from the line. Taylor, big push left on. Thomas for Taylor. He kicks ahead. Britt is the chaser. Leeds is the man that cleans it up.
Well, exciting stuff there. Western Suburbs never say die. Jason Taylor found a little bit of space in behind the line, but once again Andrew Leeds, safe as a bank. Marvellous game there. Steve Carter won't play this ball quickly, and we'll see a lot of dummy half running now. Wind the clock down, Penrith. It's been a win full of character.
Darren Chute is on for Penrith. Yama number 22. Barry Walker. It's Nissen, or is it Nissen?
Yes, it looks like Nissen. The wingers have worked well. It's come in taking a lot of pressure off the forwards, as you've got to do in the game these days. Brad Fittler.
Oops-a-daisy. Was that late by Terry Hill? Yes, it was. It may not end here. The touch judge will go in my opinion. Terry Hill could be in a spot of trouble here.
Well, Brad Fittler got up with a smile on his face. He's okay. That's not really what the point is all about. Here we see the kick. Fittler getting it away. Oh, gee, well, that's...
Well, the touch judge has gone in to make a report on not only a late tackle by Terry Hill, but a high tackle as well. He's going to get off with a caution.
I wouldn't be arguing if I was Terry Hill. I'd cop the punishment and go. This is a big swinging arm. It wasn't needed. It was ridiculous play on his behalf.
We've seen blokes get 6 weeks for that.
Well, there's the fight. There's the siren. Andrew Leeds will take the kick after the bell is gone. It's all academic now. 16-10 at the moment. Shake of the head from Terry Hill. I think more frustration in that than anything else. Probably quite fitting for Andrew Leeds to finish this game off with some points.
So Andrew Leeds from only 12 metres out, right in front, and he lands the goal for Penrith to win the game by 18 points to 10. Big effort by the Panthers. They've had a traumatic week. Loss of one of their dearly beloved colleagues in the shape of young Ben Alexander. Everything was wrong for this preparation today. But they've come away with the 2 points over the Western Suburbs Magpies by 18 points to 10.